Hey everybody! I got my beautiful wife here. She's a little under the weather. She's been feeling pretty puny. I guess I've stressed her out since Monday,
Just been sick.
but did some persuasion to try to get her to come down here and get on this live. So I mostly wanted to do this for everybody that I joined that SVT Facebook group and started noticing how, it put me in a lot of higher anxiety along the way. And I quit, getting on there and looking at it a lot of times because I tried to keep myself from building myself up. So I kind of want to do this tonight, just kind of share my journey a little bit, where I started to where I went to with getting the ablation done. So anytime anybody's got any questions or anything, I'm not no doctor. I'm not going to be able to answer any medical questions for you, but if you definitely have any of those, just talk to your doctors. They definitely know best. But started probably 10 years ago, and most of I would have smaller SVT attacks, and I didn't even know what it was. And and hey, Donnie, how are you doing? Good to see you too, Donnie. You remember Donnie Boone, don't you? And his wife from the fishing deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But along the way, 10, 15 years ago, I'd have these small attacks, and then it was about 10, 12 years ago, during church service was really my first serious episode. It stopped me in my tracks. I literally, the only way I could describe it is just like an instant pause of heartbeat and just a flushness, like you're going to pass out. And then like I could just feel like both my chambers and my heart's just sitting there just like fighting against each other. And every time I always come out of my SVT attacks, the bad ones, on my own. Never had to go get, medicine or anything like that to get myself out of it. So, but fast forward a little bit, I'm gonna skip ahead now to back in February. We wound up, I've constantly been going to the cardiologist. I have hypertension as it is, so kept going to the cardiologist. I kept trying to figure something out. And the last time I went, if I see a blood pressure cuff, if they come to me and want to check my blood pressure, it's instantly like almost every time I've got mine checked, they would look at it and say, something ain't right with this machine. It just didn't pick up. It's because it would just go crazy. So, hey, Fred, yes, it has been forever, man. Probably been since high school. Hey, Trey. Hey, I'm glad to be back, brother. Praying for you too, man. I know you've had some heart complications, I believe, as well. So praying for you. But we've I wound up going through, and they wanted me to go through a stress test back in February, I think, wasn't it? And I think it was February, wasn't it? I think so.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got there, it was actually funny. I'd accidentally forgot and took my atenolol. I was on 50 milligram of atenolol, and I'd actually forgotten and took it. And went there for the stress test, and the nurse was like, "No way, you're not taking the test. Come back in 2 days." And the doctor was like, "Oh no, let's go ahead and get you on it." And but the nurse was confident. She's like, "You need to come back 2 more days." So I came back 2 more days, just done the stress test, did the echo first. Echo come back showing just a slightly enlarged aorta. And the stress test, when I get there, I literally hadn't even started, and same attack. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I turned to the nurse that was doing the stress test, and I was like, "I'm gonna have to stop. I can't breathe." And she thought I'd been picking at her the whole time. She just looked at me. She was just like, whatever, blew it off. And then she looked back to the monitor, and literally, like, she could see, she hit the stop button, grabbed me, laid me on the bed. Before I know it, I had 3 doctors, probably 6 nurses in there working on me, and wasn't nervous. I've come in and out of probably in 10 years, I've probably had like serious episodes, probably about 4 or 5 of those. And, but, you know, come out of it, the doctors got in there, and I'm gonna tell you, the doctor that actually done my procedure on Monday, I probably am not pronouncing it correctly, Waragoda. I've only met him 2 times, and I firmly believe he was a godsend. And the way he got in there on me when I had my stress test, just his bedside manner, the way he got in there, just checking me, listening, all different angles with a stethoscope, just trying to hear where my heart was having those problems at. And he just looked at me and said, "We're going to get you took care of." He said, "You're having SVT attacks. We're going to set you up and schedule you for ablation." So you think everything's good, and then all of a sudden, COVID hit her house. Literally like the week of that I was supposed to go get my COVID test, and before the surgery. So we came down with COVID. We had to reschedule, and got it done Monday. And I just want to give everybody comfort and ease. It was probably the easiest. I mean, I've had hand surgery before, is really about my toughest thing, but it was one of the easiest things I've went through. I mean, it was no pain. I'm a little sore from where they go for the heart catheterization through your groin. A little bit bruised, but small, tiny incisions. I know Sheree was sweating it that morning. I wound up going in for surgery. Had probably, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 maybe small attacks, nothing big. But I'm gonna kind of share something. I can't ever remember exactly what it's called, so I'm gonna share on the screen so that way everybody just bringing awareness to folks. You can look here. There's different types of SVT attacks, and I'm not going to pronounce it because I don't want to mess it up. But I had the one that was on the top, the AVNRT, which is like the doctor said after doing the mapping of my heart and doing the ablation, that it was honestly one of the easiest, most common ones to do for the ablation. So said he didn't have to give me but just a drop of adrenaline to literally trigger me into a SVT attack. And after he done the ablation, he said they got my heart rate up to like 200 beats per minute and could not duplicate it. So I know Sheree said I come out, didn't I, pretty ecstatic along the way.
You were funny. You were hilarious.
I think she said I even come out like literally rolled in. I don't remember.
Came out with your fist up, like I did this. I got this.
Yeah, yeah. I did. I was really excited. I know once I come to myself, and I think I kept asking you questions over and over again. That medicine was stout, whatever it was for the anesthesia.
It was so funny.
Different, but here's the different ones. I mean, for SVTs, there's more than these on here. You can do the research. This was just straight, I believe. Just Google it. You can find all these different types of stuff. But I kind of want to talk about like preventions, because I know one of the biggest things along the way is about trying to change your diet. I mean, I know they tried along for me trying to change my diet. My biggest thing I feel like that helped me the most was staying away from caffeine. I already have acid reflux. I've had GERD since I was a little bitty kid, and I typically, for the most part, stay away from caffeinated stuff. I gave up drinking years ago, probably close to, Lord, how many years ago? 12, 15 maybe, probably around that time frame, and hadn't picked up a drop since. So one of the items on there that really does stress about, and I can't emphasize this enough, if like getting plenty of rest. Oh my gosh, there's so many times that if I didn't get rest the next day, my heart would literally like just, you could feel it wanting to go into those attacks. And but there's different, I didn't want to post this on there. You can go through and look at that and go back and pause it, but feel free, if y'all have any questions, just put it out there, because I ain't going to keep lagging this on too much longer. But mine was a success. I really feel that way. The good Lord above had his hand in it the entire time. So my wife's playing with her new. I'm bad. How many other husbands are bad? Tell them what I've done.
I don't know. What did you do?
So
what did you do?
So I wound up taking, and I'm always the world's worst when I buy my wife a gift or a present. I mean, men, listen, Mother's Day's coming up. So I bought her a Mother's Day gift. Bought it before my heart surgery. So a little smartwatch, and just couldn't resist. I don't know who else is like that, but I'm world's worst like that. But doctor told me the plus side from the ablation that I was on a Tylenol 50 milligram, and I get to come off of it. I have not took it since last Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel so much better. I mean, don't get me wrong, anxiety, you're still going to feel your heart rate increase from just anxiety alone. But, you know, those that have suffered through with the SVTs, just hang in there. Doctors telling you about ablations, don't be nervous about it. It's really, in my opinion, it's very invasive. I mean, it really is. I mean, I literally, like, the toughest part of all of it was the next day tearing the bandage off, the Band-Aid. Like, that was the scariest. Like, you're thinking in your mind, it's going to reopen again. But yeah. So I'm not going to lag us on. I thank all y'all for watching. Most of all, we appreciate all your prayers. Without the good Lord, I know it without a doubt, we wouldn't be here today. So just know this, if you're going through these things, and if you have not trusted in the good Lord above, put your trust in him. He will definitely carry you along the way. Sorry, I got youngins upstairs jumping. Never fails, 3 girls. That's probably another reason why I probably had to get SVT treatments done on the way. So 1 teenager, 2 on the way. So, but yeah.
See if you got any questions.
Yeah, there's one that just come through. So Kimberly said mine was 2 weeks ago and so easy too. No pain. And I agree to that. There was no pain and no episode since.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I've had a couple of heart palpitations. I want to say a couple of days ago, I had like maybe 2 times.
He said it was normal, the doctor.
Yeah. And I mean, I even, like before this, I got anxious a little bit. My heart rate was kind of increasing, but nothing like before. Nothing. And I do want to say this, like the only thing, I want to suggest something, and Sheree can remember this. I won't go into the full details about it, but they asked me before the procedure, when I was literally laying on the table with the mapping TV screen that's there and everything else, like 6 nurses hooking me up to everything. They looked at me and they said, "Do you need to go pee first?" And I was like,
hindsight 2020, he should have went.
I had to go, but I was like, I'd had like 4 or 5 episodes. I was like, if I get out to the toilet there, I'll have another episode. Like, just go with it. When I come back to, and I guess it was the anesthesia, I was in pain. Like, if you ever woke up early in the morning and you're sitting there and your bladder is so full and it is so painful that you got to go, that was me. And I guess from the anesthesia, and I'll spare the full details, but I couldn't go. Just the pain. Like, I guess I hadn't fully woke up enough. So thank God we had a good nurse that come over there.
Great nurse.
She helped me out tremendously as far as, there's a trick. She tilted the bed up, and that, I guess, just, I was able to go to the bathroom. So no more details. I got relief from it. So I agree with you. Yeah, Kimberly, I agree with you. It was no pain, super easy. I've had a little bit of like a muscle cramp. I wouldn't even call it like this 0 for pain. It's just like you do a workout and you have that little bit of burn a little bit. I kind of felt that, you know, maybe for first couple of days, but, you know, I feel completely fine. So, and this man's been a good inspiration to me lately, Josh. Amen, brother. And that's right. So I appreciate you, Josh, you and your family and your prayers. So if anybody's got more questions, I'll give you just a few more minutes, and I'm gonna go ahead and end this. But feel free to comment, and I'm gonna get my sister in a second. But feel free to comment. This will be on for YouTube for in the future. Leave some comments. Anything I can do to try to help ease comfort. That's all I was wanting to do with this video. Is there's so many unknowns. Like when I would go into those attacks, you would literally sit there and you'd feel like, Lord, this is it. Are you calling me home? And once that doctor, when I had that episode on the treadmill, he looked at me with my episodes that I was having based on my health conditions. Keep in mind, others may have more that may make it to where it's, an issue, but mine was non-lethal. Like it wasn't something that was going to take my life. Possibly, I mean, I guess maybe it could if it went on for many, many years and not treated properly, but just hang in there. So Megan said it, my sister, we're so glad you came through this like a champ. And I'm going to tell you, Megan's a walking miracle too. Thankful that the good Lord's took care of her along the way. Love you, sis. Same as my wife. My wife's a walking miracle as well. That could be another YouTube video. So Kimberly, come back again. A few heartbeats felt, but not tack. Had to have, and I don't know how to pronounce it, twice in February, which is basically what brings you out of the SVTs, that medicine. The attacks were frightening. So I didn't say this. All those years that I was going through problems, when I would lay down at night, I would literally feel my heartbeat in the back of my neck. Like literally, I would go to bed and it just boom, boom, boom. And one time, an episode happened when I was in bed. How many years? 5, 6, 7 years ago. And I literally was laid down flat, and all of a sudden I felt my heart stop. Like literally, it just boom, done. I got up, and the first thing I done, and this is one of the things that they talk about converting you out of it, I run to the bathroom sink, which literally ain't but a few steps away from our bed, and just grabbed water from the sink and splashed my face to drink it. And boom, there went my heart. I felt it start, and then it just run away racing. Went in the living room, didn't know what to do. We went ahead and just decided to go to the ER. And I'll flat out say it, most doctors at the ER, unless something's happening right then and there, they're just going to send you home and refer you to follow-up cardiologist or something. So that doctor, he literally looked at me, and I told him, I was like, man, I felt my heart beating hard, and then all of a sudden it stopped, and then it came on, and it was beating really hard. And then
a lot of SVT things are doctors confuse them with like anxiety attacks. That's the most one that people get it confused with when you're really having this condition. So that's sad.
And there is I think there's I'm not a doctor, but I really believe there is a fine line with having those anxiety moments, and they do trigger them. I mean, it brings them on, it amplifies it. So, but that doctor, when I got in there, he literally looked at me, and you was in there with me, if I remember right too, with it. He was literally looked at me and was like, I've never felt anybody that can feel their own heartbeat. Wow. I sat there in just amazement, and I'll admit this, when I had that stress test back in February, and you was talking about getting that medicine to convert you out, they were literally putting in, the 6 nurses that was working on me, they were literally sticking me with an IV to start, and I may be pronouncing wrong, I can't even say it, but it literally, when that needle pricked me, it brought me out just like that. So there's certain things that can help, and you can research it. There's a lot of things that'll help you convert. Mine was always coughing. Like it was almost to the point of like I'd have to almost clear my throat, and then I'd mix in with some coughing. But you'd have to do it really deep, like a real deep. And I mean, I'd grab the back of my neck and just kind of rub it. That would help me ease a lot of my stuff. So if it helps anybody to kind of calm yourself, I mean, hang in there. Listen. I wouldn't say listen to ER doctors all the time, but go to get you a good cardiologist. If you're in, and I'm not getting any promotion off of this or anything whatsoever, but if you're in the Atlanta area in Georgia, definitely go see Dr. Waragoda. He's with Northside Heart Group. Amazing. I mean, his bedside manner, oh my gosh, super nice. Super nice.
Very attentive.
But so Trey said his uncle neighbor had an ablation twice, but done great. So I mean, it's a very invasive, really nothing to stress about. Like I went into this procedure, and I didn't really talk with Sheree about this, but I went into this procedure just feeling like, if my ablation was to the point where it was that bad, because we didn't know how bad, if it was going to be that bad, if I had to have a pacemaker, I was ready for that lifestyle change. I'm still ready for that lifestyle change. If I can get my life back to where I feel like I can at least go walk again with my family, my kids, yeah, I want that life back. And I feel like it. I cannot wait till next week. Doc said I can't drive. I can honestly say I have not drove. Wife's hid my keys from me a few times. But
yeah, he'd be on the lake if I hadn't done that.
He didn't say I couldn't drive a boat though, did he? I mean, I've got a remote.
No operation of machinery.
I've got a remote for my boat. But anyways, glad Trey, that went good. Must be a family thing. I can feel and hear my heartbeat. Glad we have the same cardiologist group. That's right. I mean, I'm telling you, it's God sent, every bit of it. So I love you, sis. Thank y'all for all the comments tonight. Glad to hear you got it done. Rick said, I have the same condition and had my ablation 15 years ago. Rick, if you definitely want to add more into it, kind of curious it's been 15 years ago. Do you still have any type of episodes, medication or anything? So if you're willing to share it, you can leave it in the comments. So it was amazing how many people that when I joined the SVT group ever since that would literally approach me and talk to me about it, saying that they had the exact same thing, had surgeries done, and everything went good. So,
yeah.
And I have heard some that wasn't successful. It's the reality. But, I mean, I was to the point I was feeling so rough. I was ready, like, bring on whatever change it's going to be because I'm ready for a lifestyle change. Appreciate that, Rick. Trey said I was a paramedic. There's that word again. Whenever that medication, you want to give a stab? Give a stab at it.
Adenosine.
That doesn't. Us Southern people here talking. Apologize. Was released. Well, that ain't too many years ago, Trey. You're still a young feller. I worked on a study in which it allowed on ambulances. It's scary when you watch it work, but it is a wonder drug. I mean, Lord, they prepped me, and they did not have to inject me with that medicine the day that I had that episode on the stress test. But they were literally sticking the needle in me and getting ready to put it in.
Yeah.
And they warned me. They said, get ready. You're going to feel really, really, really rough for a few minutes and for a few moments, whatever, however long. But I never did have to experience it, thank God. Sheree didn't really believe me that day, did you? Because
you had from the phone to the nurses.
That was
he
bad.
Jokes a lot. He's a jokester. If anyone knows him, he's always joking. And every time he goes and gets something done or anything, something's wrong, something's happened. So I just didn't believe him.
Yeah, it was bad.
Then when she hopped on the phone, I was like, okay, I'm on my way.
I said, honey, I'm going to need somebody to come pick me up. And you're like, what? Really?
I was like, yeah, right.
Then the nurse started talking in the background.
And she got on the phone.
I'm going to tell you something. It's normally a 30-minute ride. I think you made it there in about 18.
Oh, you know me. Left foot.
So if there was any police that was out there along the way, I apologize for that day. You okay?
Yeah. I just still don't feel good.
So Carrie, Carrie.
Yes,
we
my
all know
best friend Carrie.
Glad you're doing better. Appreciate the prayers there, Carrie. So there's another person that knows about. Okay, oh, here we go. He's breaking down the pronunciation. Adonis. Man, look. Adown.
I said Adonis.
But why would it be O'Down?
I don't know why I said O, because it's an A.
There's an E. I mean, we're from the South here. You got to enunciate the E.
That's probably how you say it.
Adownison.
Yeah.
Brings your heart rate down. Oh, got you. Brings it down. Didn't finish that sentence. But that's, anybody else has any questions, comments, feel free to message me, along the way, comment, anything you need along the way to help out. I would honestly not watch stuff. Like I literally got on YouTube and just kept searching SVT stuff. I would watch. That'd be 5 minutes long, and I'd get about probably 30 seconds in to a minute, and I'd be like, oh, nope, I'm done. My anxiety level's too high. So that's the only reason why I want to do this.
And you were so worked up, way too nervous, and the procedure went well, and it does for most people that have it done. What is it, like 99%? There's 1%, or is it 95% for all people?
He said 95% success rate
for all.
Before going into it. That's what I knew, that it was going to be a 95% success. So the only thing, and I don't even know if I touched on this, the only thing that I was really scared about, I mean, that's God's honest truth, I was scared about those 3 days of coming off my Tylenol. Like cold turkey, stop. I'm already on lisinopril for blood pressure, hypertension, and then the Tylenol. With me coming off of it, I didn't know what was going to happen.
And you didn't feel good, and you didn't. And the third day was the worst.
I took off work the first day that I'd come off of it. Saturday, Sunday, I literally done nothing. And I felt really pathetic asking my wife to wheelchair me in for admissions that morning, but
I couldn't believe it, but it was bad. I saw it on the monitor. They got it on the EKG, and it only got worse by the hour. So it was definitely needed. The surgery was.
I think he was more scared seeing. That was the first time she'd ever seen the heart rate monitor and stuff, and she'd come over there and she'd go to holding me. You okay? You okay? I'm like,
oh, I do care.
This is an easy one. Trust me, it's going to pass pretty quickly. So. Let's see here. Trey says your heart literally stops for a few seconds. Oh. Okay, then starts back up. But watching a heart monitor, it's a long few seconds. But that definitely, I mean, when you're in those attack modes, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, it puts you in so much of overexertion. It's debilitating. I mean, that's the best way to describe it. Everything around you is stopped. So, if I was in those, and some people have them hours upon hours and not able to convert out. I was very fortunate all these years, like handful of episodes that literally I could come out of them in less than 5 minutes. So, but yeah, appreciate that comment there, Trey. But if nobody else has any comments, thank y'all for taking a little bit of time watching. I hope this is not gave anyone anxiety. If you've got a procedure coming on, just stay strong. Like I told everybody beforehand going into it, give you some strength. The only words I can really say is, good Lord. I told everybody the good Lord's got me either way, and I knew he was going to carry us through it every step. So just hang in there. We love each and every one of y'all and appreciate y'all. Y'all take care. Message me if you got any comments you need to talk to. Definitely here. Thank y'all. And I thank my wife. Thank the good Lord most importantly.